Wes here with the National Wrestling Clippings Alliance magazine review. We're back with another great magazine review. This time we're hitting Ring Wrestling December 1980 with Verne Gagne and Pedro Morales on the front cover. Two champions in their own right. Let's just see what's going on inside here. I have this book. It's pretty cool. It's a great book. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but I bought it at a bookstore. Nice book. Let's see what we got here. December 1980. As I see it, James Melby talking about how popular wrestling is all over the United States since 1980. Most popular sport in North America, which pretty much is true. These would have been good to get. The Wrestling Magazine back issues of the Wrestling News, not the actual Ring Wrestling Magazine, but the special editions they put out for the different areas. Texas, AWA, what do we got here? WWF, Mid-South, or Memphis, and other different areas. We're doing pretty good. I got a couple of them, which are really cool to have. First great article here is Dusty Rhodes, American Dream is tops in Southern Wrestling Auditoriums. And some pictures here by famed photographer Gene Gordon. Let's see, Dusty and Gordon Soley, Nikolai Volkov, Terry Funk. Nice blood-soaked couple of guys here. Wow. Dusty's arm done by Volkov and Humperdinck. Big Daddy, we talked about him in our British episode. Bit of a stud and a bit of a bully in the ring. Big guy, huge guy. Two brothers were referee and promoter. Verne Gagne wins the AWA World's Heavyweight Championship, defeats Nick Bockwinkel in Comiskey Park. Yeah, Nick takes back the belt. Verne takes back the belt. Verne must have been 50 if he was a day, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. His belt, his promotion. George Shire talks very highly about Nick as being the man who would do anything for a boss. So that's cool. Great picture here of Carbo, Vachon, Greg Gagne, Sam Muchnick, Verne, and Les Ruffin, Cincinnati promoter. And here's Verne and the Crusher. And then another champion, the two guys that were on the cover. Pedro Morales comes home to the WWF. Here he is with Bruno. While he was away, he wrestled some scientific matches in the AWA with Billy Robinson. Or in the Carolinas, he was facing against Ray Stevens. And he was, I like Morales. He had a fantastic left hook. He must have been left-handed. Ta-da, left-handed. He's simply known as the Invader. Yeah, I think we know who the Invader was. Friends with Jose Rivera. Ricky and Robert. Pictorial look at top Southern Tag Team. Ricky and Robert Gibson by Jim Cornette. There we go. David Schultz. Big leap from the top rope. Dennis Condrey. Lots of Memphis guys here. Larry Latham. And so you get Ali Hassan, the Iranian oil sheik. Photos by John Lawson and Jim Cornette. And Jack Kruger, a WWA guy for years. He's throwing a fireball here. Going up against Billy Robinson, going up against Spike Huber, and ripping the shirt off of Bill Dundee in the Memphis area. This is one of the ones I was really looking forward to talking about. Baba and Saruda win Detroit Tag Team Tournament. And the pictures were taken by Brian Hildebrand. And this is funny because the one-night tournament, they brought these guys in from all over the world. And some of the matchups were absolutely ridiculous. There were Dory Funk Jr. and Fred Curry teaming. Eddie Mansfield came in all the way from the Southern Mat Star with Ray Candy, Abdullah and Ernie Ladd going against Brooks and my gosh. Ernie Ladd teamed with Abdullah the Butcher, and they went against Tim Brooks, Killer Brooks, and the Sheik. Just bizarre, bizarre. And there's usual pictures of the Sheik doing what he did. Here's a picture of Dory Funk with a headlock on Jumbo Saruta. And here's Saruta giving Fred Curry a backbreaker. And then we flip the page and we go to Jumbo and Curry, Funk and Saruta, Saruta and Funk again. In the final event of the evening, Saruta finds out that it isn't wise to be trapped in the corner of Randy Scott and John Bonella, two Ontario guys who were the Sheik's tag team champions and also were the tag team champions for the Wildman, holding those same belts. It's just bizarre. Here's a picture of John Bonella and Giant Baba. It's like Toronto and all over the world superstar. Crazy. But here they are holding the belts, and they must have taken the belts back. They must have paid Sheik some money to take the belts back to Japan, and it was televised there. Crazy one-night tournament. I should find the clipping for that. International Championship Wrestling, Pro Wrestling's next major league. Well, didn't last that long. They tried Randy, Angelo, and Lanny with going up against the Memphis guys. They had some good talent. Ronnie Garvin, Doug Vines here, Rick McCord. Bob Roop, of course, is a bit of a stretcher. And Bob Orton and George Weingroff, they're tag team champions. But yeah, they put up quite a fight legally and in the ring, and then eventually Mid-South just put them under. Here's another one, Lars Anderson's World League Wrestling. And now Lars Anderson was a big AWA guy in the early days, Larry Heinemimi, and he started a promotion that was based in Aspen, Colorado, with a school, and they actually did some shows in Northern Ontario. I mean Northern Ontario, Terrace Bay and a few other places. Didn't last very long at all, unfortunately. It is what it is. Mark Rocco and Big Daddy again with the British Wrestling Report for Stuart Barker. On and around the mat world, area close-ups by Terry Robert Justice. And look at these, this is just unbelievable. This was the internet before the internet. Washington, Charlotte, Atlanta, Tampa. And this news wasn't that old, so Mobile, Jackson, New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, and Lexington with the ICW as opposed to the CWA. Indianapolis, Detroit, see World Tag Team Champions John Bonella and Randy Scott. Sheik is renewed his heated rivalry with Indian Chief Jay Strongbow. Tim Brooks, Malcolm Monroe, Jerry Oates, Canadian Wildman, Dory Funk Jr., Flying Fred Curry, Ray Candy, Rick Bolden, Ernie Ladd, Abdullah, and Eddie Mansfield were also there. And Mansfield was working for the Wildman at the same time. St. Louis booking office, Kansas City, Chicago, which was AWA and WWA at the time. WWA was still hanging on. Tulsa, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. Oh, 2 groups in San Antonio. Pueblo, AWA. Minneapolis, Honolulu. Honolulu. LA, WWF. San Francisco, NWA. Calgary, NWA. North American Heavyweight Champion Bret Hart. And the International Tag Team Champions Dynamite Kid and Kasavubu. Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver all booked together with Martel and Piper, Buddy Rose, Ed Wiskoski, and the Sheepherders also. Gene Kaniski, of course. Toronto, Halifax, Montreal, Newfoundland, Puerto Rico, Cape Town, South Africa, and Lagos, Nigeria. Not the place you want to be right now. Toronto, let's see. The Great Hussein has taken the belt from Dewey, and now fans are expected that another national favorite, King Kong Mosca, will be taking the belt from him soon. Halifax, season's underway with big names like Leo Burke, David Von Schultz, Bad Boy Run, Bass, Cuban Assassin, Big Stephen Pettipas, Paul Peller, Hubert Gallant, Goldie Rogers. Montreal has joined the WWF and it's changed their whole outlook on things, but they've recently had visits by Goulet, the Samoans, and Hulk Hogan. Grapplers who are on a full-time basis include Jacques Rougeau, Len Shelley, Richard Charlin, John White, Raymond Rougeau, Bob Boucher, Sailor White, Pierre Lefebvre, Brito, War Eagle, Dick Van Dyke, Michel the Judge Dubois, Tito Senza, Ed Carpentier, and Tom Pouce and Skylo Lowe. Newfoundland also the same summer season with George Steele, Kurt Von Heller, and Hartford Love, who's a fan favorite, Newfie Power. Biggest feud is Cannon and Haystacks, and Bulldog Kent and Louis Martinez. Louis Laurence, Chief Whitefeather, the Wolfman, Willie the Wolfman. So yeah, interesting. Japanese news. They had the most fantastic and cool magazine covers. I have a few Japanese magazines. They're really, really cool and colorful. Here's the Intelligent Sensational Destroyer's return to Japan. And what a great guy he was. I talked with him a couple times. Interesting, fun, funny, and what a wrestler. Long career. And this was a fantastic gimmick for him and a fantastic gimmick for his whole career. Don Bass says he's the toughest Texas wrestler of them all. Yep. Freddie Blassie, the Prince of Darkness. Here's with his Turncoat Army, Spiros Arion, Victor Rivera, who was one of my favorites when I was a kid, and Peter Maivia. And Hulk Hogan obviously was first brought into the WWF by Freddie Blassie. And then here he is talking with Vince McMahon about Stan Hansen breaking Bruno's neck. And famous picture from the Olympic in California with ring announcer Jimmy Lennon and Freddie. Obviously he was the babyface at the time. There's a new Crusher in the AWA, and it's Crusher Jerry Blackwell. It's pretty talented. This is always interesting to see the different TV. Let's just see, Ontario only had one TV show at this time, which I don't think that was true, but could be. CHCH TV at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday. Let's see. Florida, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Georgia, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 also. Tennessee, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. And the Scotsman versus the Playboy is the end in sight for their feud. Roddy Piper and Buddy Rose interviews. Who doesn't love Roddy Piper? And nothing wrong with Playboy Buddy Rose either. I really liked him. Destroyer t-shirts and masks. Favorite Terry Darts. And there's Lars Anderson. That's it for now. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Check out you next time.